In the next couple of days, we're going to be closely watching Tropical Storm Rafael. And again, as I've been trying to really emphasize, the Gulf of Mexico is not the Gulf environment of August, September, early October. In November, conditions are much more hostile to tropical systems. Now, in the Caribbean, much more hospitable. And that's why we are anticipating that it will get better organized. You can clearly see that circulation and thunderstorms trying to wrap around. Now, that is anticipated, and we will likely see this become a hurricane maybe later tomorrow night or early into Wednesday per the official forecast. And the models in the short term are in pretty good agreement with the path and the strengthening. Where they split in the path is once in the Gulf of Mexico, and we'll show you that in a moment. But what the models are in good agreement with is that this is going to be in a hostile environment, and we will see it weakening, not because of any land interaction, but because the conditions over the Gulf are not likely to allow this to maintain its strength, and certainly not allow it to strengthen any further. So what we're looking at is a comparison of the official forecast from the Hurricane Center overlaid with the GFS in red and the Euro in green. Again, short term right through Wednesday morning, passing Cuba in pretty good agreement. This is where we get a little bit more of a split. Now, I will say some of the ensemble members are starting to favor a little bit more with the GFS, so kind of taking it more along a north, the westward, and then northerly track. The Euro seems to be a little bit more of an outlier. We will see if that changes in the coming days. Right now, the Hurricane Center's path basically splits the difference, with the Euro keeping it well down to the south of the Louisiana coast, and as of right now, the GFS actually keeping it to our east, which would keep us on the drier side. Here's the difference in thinking. The GFS is moving faster, which means this upper high to the east doesn't have time to build into the Gulf and allows the storm to kind of take that path more toward the central Gulf Coast. The Euro has the storm moving much slower and more time for this high to build in, which would allow the storm to just continue moving toward the west. We will see what its forward speed does in the next couple of days. But these are the conditions over the Gulf right now. Very dry air and already strong wind shear over the northwestern Gulf. Here's the dry air forecast. Here is the storm itself. It may be able to kind of funnel in some moisture northward into Georgia, South Carolina, actually possibly causing some flooding issues there. But as far as the rest of the Gulf goes, very dry. That is going to help to rip the storm apart and begin entraining that dry air near the center. The wind shear will also help to rip the storm apart, kind of removing any thunderstorms well away from the center. So the center point isn't as much of a focus as will the conditions of the storm be at this time. It's not going to look like a tropical system by the time it starts nearing the Louisiana coast. Conditions in the Caribbean, very favorable for further development. Deep warm water, low wind shear, stronger wind shear, shallow warm water over the Gulf of Mexico. Again, not too concerned about a tropical system threatening in November. If this was August, September, different story. We've had a few spotty showers around the area thus far today, and even a couple lingering into the evening. Today's high got up to 85 degrees. Even with mostly cloudy skies, we're running 11 degrees above our normal. We should be in the 70s, about like we are right now, and temperatures are not going to come down much as we're in the 70s across both sides of the lake, and dew points are also in the lower 70s. That's not going to change through the overnight, and in fact, we have a strong southeasterly wind, which will keep the humidity in place. And because of the breezy winds at high tide or near high tide early tomorrow morning, could see some coastal flooding. Winds and the tide will be going out. Winds will be diminishing as we continue later into the day tomorrow. Very active cold front, once again like we saw last week, out to our west as it tries to get closer to us. Yet again, the upper pattern not favorable for the front to get really anywhere near us, but it might set up a little boundary that helps to trigger a few scattered showers. So we'll keep the mention of about a 40% chance for our election day. Maybe have an umbrella handy, rain jacket if you're going out to the polls, which everyone should be doing. Drier but warm as we wrap up the week. Again, I'm keeping our impacts from Rafael limited to almost none as we head into the weekend. Maybe some less humid air early next week.